Oh, yo, check it out. RWNOL's episode 2, hosted by the one and only. We have a couple things to talk about today. Today we're gonna do our top five check-in. I know we did our top five mock draft. It consists of Paige Bueckers, Te-Hina Paopao, Kiki Iriafen, Janiah Barker, and Olivia Miles. And so we're gonna check in and see how everybody's doing in the tournament, but then also gonna get to the part where what needs to be talked about is Paige Bueckers, a consensus number one pick, is not being pushed like most number one picks would be. Some people have their reason. I have my reason, and there's so many different perspectives. But also in the comment section, I want to know what is the real reason why Paige Bueckers isn't being pushed as the number one pick, which she is, right? So, yeah, it's just gonna be a number of things we're talking about. But yeah, first I want to give a shout out to everyone who's watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's run this thing up. A better set is coming soon, but we just got to get to the content. So there's no need to try to invest in too much right now. We're just gonna get to the content as time goes on. We're going to progress from a set standpoint, more guests, more everything. So appreciate y'all for rocking. Subscribe to the channel. So as I go through my notes here, just doing our top five check-in. I'm gonna start with Kiki Iriafen. I mean, she held it down when Juju went down. We hope Juju gets well, but 36 points, and she's also establishing the fact that she's a top five pick from a talent standpoint. Now, the position is going to be important because we don't know what team is going to get her, and I'm hoping she actually fell out of the top 10. I'm hoping she goes back to the top five, and I'm hoping that the Golden State Valkyrie um, pick her, and she'll be great to build around. Janiah Barker, she's prepping for Ole Miss. I think they won the Big Ten, and she's actually the best reserve player in the Big Ten in her first season. She's grown leaps and bounds from Texas A&M, and she's just continuing to show that she's a thoroughbred basketball player, and she's going to play in the W for a really long time, given the right opportunity. Now, over to Te-Hina Paopao. Lockdown defense. We all know she's a marksman. She's a marksman from three. That's going to vote extremely well in the W. And I want her to go to Chicago Sky to open up the floor for Cardoso and Angel Reese. But more importantly, she locked down defensively, had four blocks in a win over Indiana, and that South Carolina team is just high octane per usual. Shout out to Don Staley. She does a hell of a job. And yet, Te-Hina Paopao, she's doing what she needs, doing what needs to be done, right? I think she had 6 points. Well, she may have something. The points weren't as much, but the blocks and the lockdown defense to lead the comeback over Indiana was more important than any amount of points. Who cares if she dropped 30? They got the win, and she played a hell of a game. Olivia Miles, the ankle injury, kind of prohibited. She didn't finish the game. I think they won by like 50 something versus Stephen F. Austin. She had 6 points. But most importantly, again, I said she's one of the best table setters in all of women's college basketball. And she dished out 8 assists, got her team going. So maybe that game for Notre Dame. And shout out also Hannah Hidalgo. She doesn't get a whole lot of love. I just Olivia Miles was somebody I picked, but we gotta show Hannah some love. The 8 assists again just kind of reiterates her being the table setter that she is, and maybe that game was to fine tune and get other players going because obviously in the tournament you're going to need everybody. So once you got up by a substantial amount, there's no need to really, there's no need to kick a dead horse. I mean, the heavy horses, the Hannahs and the Olivias and the rest of them, they're going to be who they are. So it's no point to overdo it, right? So maybe that was a game to fine tune the back end of the roster or the other rotational players. Um, and last but not least, Paige Bueckers, 50, 40, 90 for her career. UConn, need I say more? She's the number one pick going to Dallas. And which actually leads me to my next point. As a consensus number one pick, the NBA draft, previous WNBA draft, they have been laid out the red carpet for. They have a foundation set, and you walk them into being the number one pick from a marketing standpoint. You've seen it with Wimby, this generational alien, um, Zach Rissacher. I don't want to mispronounce his last name. He didn't get the hype. Obviously, he came from France, but the Zions of the world. I think Paolo didn't get the hype, but for the most part, the number one pick has a marketing machine like no other. But I don't really see that with Paige. I wonder why. Now, I talk to different people and they say, well, Paige doesn't fit the mold for a plethora of reasons, whether it be off the court, which we'll get into, and that could be a very touchy topic. But anywho, the first reason they say she's not getting the push is because she goes to UConn. You always have a solid team in UConn. The brand speaks for itself, and there's always going to be a UConn player that goes, so it's not really special. Okay, and then the second reason they say is because of her injury. She tore her ACL. She came back for a fifth year. Um, and she's out of the spotlight. So many people from a marketing perspective could have surpassed her. So even though she's paid buckets, she's still not getting that love because of the injury, so they say. But then also they say it's her game. They say it's bland, which I don't agree with. She's a hell of a basketball player, and pure basketball should be rewarded with great marketing. One of the things I've also noticed is that there's a hole in Dallas right now. In Dallas sports, Dak Prescott, the Cowboys, no. Luka Doncic, no, he's in LA. There's a hole in Dallas, and Paige can actually fill that void. The hype of women's college basketball, she already has a hell of a following, 2.1 million followers on Instagram. And she's well known amongst the women's basketball community. And her and Enrique are going to wreak havoc in the W next year, so why not the push, right? The shoe. She has a Nike shoe. Nike should be able to press a button, just like they did with Caitlin Clark. There's been marketing moments before Caitlin Clark went to the W. There's been moments. I know she surpassed she broke the scoring record. So obviously there's these moments that Caitlin has she's done so many great things along the way before the W, and she was pretty much the consensus number one pick, and you knew that she was damn good. We know Paige Bueckers is damn good, and it's just like, why is she not getting the push? Regardless of what most people say or how most people feel about it, she's the number one pick. So it's best you roll out the red carpet, and this is where the W's dropping the ball. Like, you don't do a good job marketing your stars. Who else do you market in this draft? Juju's probably 2 years away. What if she starts to stay for a fifth year? Um, So, but no matter when she comes out, she's number one. We're not even going, we're not doing that. What's also worth noting is that they're going to have 3 ESPN games. I know all 44 games will be on radio, three will be on ESPN. I think they're going to have 5 nationally televised games, three on ESPN, two on ION. And I'm just lost for words. I thought the W needs marketing. I thought the W needs people. They need someone to push. Every year there has to be someone to push, and she's gonna be in Dallas. They're gonna have fun, her and Enrique. And I think I don't know where the ball's been dropped, but it has been like tremendously, and there has to be a marketing push for her on the fact that she's your number one pick. She should be rolled out the red carpet for. Not saying the girls should make it easy, but it's not going to be easy because it's the WNBA. This is the best women's basketball league in the world, but there should be some type of foundation set, especially when you have the Nike machine behind you. They did it for everyone else. What's the problem with Paige? They say she doesn't fit the mold. They say she's too culturally relevant, for lack of a better term. Um, I just don't understand. Like, why aren't you not pushing Paige Bueckers as the number one pick? There's no one going number one above her. I mean, 50, 40, 90 for the season. That is tremendous. She has the shoe. Like, if you have the shoe, let's push the issue. Right. So as I go through my notes, there's a couple of other things, a couple of other pointers. Yeah, I mean, the injury could have been it, but I feel like there's so much more. In the W, just to the WNBA, like, this is a horrible job of marketing who you will call your stars. She's a bona fide star. She should be number one. Um, red carpet. This is our number one pick. Dallas should be selling season tickets to see Paige buckets, and there should be all type of verticals in regards to Paige in cohesion with Dallas to where you can now make more money. With the new CBA coming up, you also want to be sure to be raking in as much revenue so you could come to the table with a solid argument and just a solid base saying, hey, this is what's happening. We're no longer in the red. Um, so this is our leverage. We now have stars and faces of the league we can market. We know Caitlin Clark's going to be one. We know Angel Reese is going to be one. Juju, when she gets there, going to be one. And there's so many players also within the W that could be pushed, but I really do think they could do a better job of marketing Paige. But in the comment section, I want to know what you all think. Why isn't the W marketing Paige Bueckers as the number one pick when she is? She's consensus. There's no fighting for the spot. She's the number one pick. Her in Dallas is going to cause a lot of hell. So I definitely think that the WNBA could do a better job of marketing Paige. But let me know in the comment section below. That's all I have for you. Peace.